All right, all right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, shalom. This morning, Sister Deborah is coming with a video, not a video, but a message. And this message is going to be titled After I Am Completed, because I might have to talk about a little here and a little there before I'm able to really come to the title in which I really want to apply to this video. But I know that it has a great deal to do with the heart. Today, we try to find out what it is about us that we desire to be closer to the Most High. We want to be in His presence. We want to know what is it we are to be doing. We want these things that is required of us to think that it brings us to the level of really having a relationship with the Most High Yah. But Sister Deborah is going to show you the two things that takes place during the time of your living. And I like to first and foremost apologize to many of you all out there who have been in this race or in this walk with a creator, with a father, Yah, or with a father, God, or, or with he that is holy, but find still within you a battle of understanding. If you come to this page, you have struck gold, okay? And this gold is the type of gold that can take you with the understanding all the way to eternal. Meaning, what I'm going to say to you is going to cause you to understand the Most High in His fullness, to where you would not have any reason to have to go to and fro trying to find comfort or trying to find a place that you can find Him therein. Okay. I like to apologize because me myself had also been in the house, the church, or a temple, or a place of worship that was to be said to represent our Creator. And honestly, I've been there since I was a little bitty girl. All the time, not when I was a little bitty girl, but say around about 10 and 11, somewhere in there, where I began to feel that what is being said wasn't what needed to be said. So my apology today is for each and every last one of you all at the sound of my voice that has taken so much time of your living and thought and felt that you was really worshiping the Creator and that you was really serving a Yah or a God. I think that you got to keep in mind that the Creator orders the steps. Okay? He orders the steps. A lot of people think they should have been to say on the top level of the step, but they don't understand. Many of you all haven't stepped to the first step yet. Why? Because you're still on ground level. Okay? To come up off the ground level, you first have to step on the first step, then the second one, then the third. Each step that you make is a step of full understanding, not you understanding what somebody taught you and what you believe based on what someone has taught you all these years, and based on what you can understand and what you can comprehend. The steps that leads you up, it's leading you up for a reason. And the reason is taking you from ground level to the first step, to the second step, to the third step. Each step is a lesson in itself. And it's a lesson in itself that you must master in the spirit, so that your spirit may be able to bring your flesh under the subjection to it. And, and each step you go up is a step spiritual toward Yah. Meaning toward the Most High Yah. Okay? Because he orders your steps. He's not going to order your steps to the point of flesh. Okay? The serpent is not after your heel because of your flesh. Okay? It's what Yah has invested in you. Okay? That makes the serpent be after your heel. He's after the steps that Yah has ordered in your life. He's after the steps that Yah has ordered in your life. Now you're on the ground level. Once you're on the ground level, the serpent is after your steps. Okay? So therefore, your heel crushes his head once you move spiritually to the first step. But you just don't move there and just be there. You moving there in the spirit, meaning Yah has ordered your steps to go to the first level. Okay? And on that first level is a level of understanding the spiritual realm. Because you can't understand Yah in the natural. You can understand him only in the spirit. So it's no way that you're going to get to these steps and going up without understanding the Father, the Creator, the Holy One, he that is holy. Holy is his name. You're not going to reach any level of going to the first step, the second, the third, the fourth, without understanding in the spirit. Okay, so I apologize because a lot of you all thought it was based on the pastor, the priest, the apostle, the bishops, the pastors, the moorings, the seers, the watchmen, the prophets, the prophetess. No, you don't go up those steps based on you listening to them. You go up the steps based on he that has ordered your steps. Okay, those steps are not for you if he has not ordered your steps. Okay, those steps is for you to move spiritually from one level, ground level, to the next. After that one, you master understanding that level in the spirit, you go to the next. You master that, you go to the next. Each time you enter, you go there to each step you go. Satan is at your heel and you have to crush his head. How? It's because after you move to that first level, bam, you can crush his head. Time to go to the second. You get to the second one, he's still after you. Bam, you crush that head. You get to the third. Why? Because you're crushing his head. Because you're moving in the spirit realm. You're not moving in the natural. Apologize again for the way they have taught you all. I apologize because it's not me in the flesh, but it's the spirit of Yah that want you to know that you're never stuck with the spiritual realm. He said, did you think, this is what he said to me now, for 1 minute in Genesis chapter 3 and verse 15, that he was speaking to the serpent in a way that was natural? Really? Come on, pull up. So if he spoke these things to Satan in the spirit, for Satan is a spirit. And that which he called woman seed, that's a spirit. We're speaking of the serpent seed, which is a spirit, and a woman seed, which is a spirit. This is where the true battle is. I know it. Y'all still think it's in the flesh. See, that's what I'm saying. And I'm going to do a lot of apologizing because I can see where people are at and why they are where they at. It's what they've been taught so long. But it's time in this day, it's time to let go of everything, that you have been taught in the natural. Try to grip on and hold firm to the things that you understand in the spirit. because it's not the things that you see that you believe in. It's the things that you see not. So here in Genesis chapter 3 and verse 15, you see him dealing with the serpent, telling him there will be intimacy between the serpent seed, which is spirit, and who? And the woman seed, which will be the spiritual ones that the Father sent down. Okay. So we're dealing in the spirit, the battle, the fight, the war in Yah, not in, yeah, in Yah is all spirit. He letting you know that you're not fighting against flesh and blood, but spiritual battle. Okay. So that is what was said when he was telling, in Genesis 3 and 15, he was telling the serpent, my seed and your seed, your spirit would always be after those who have what? I have ordered their steps. You're going to be after their heels, and their heel going to crush your head, because every time they go up that next step, they're going to crush your head. All right. That means crush Satan's plans. See, this is where I must apologize again, because you've been taught everything in the flesh. And that's why people think the flesh run this world. The flesh rule. The flesh is A to Z. The flesh ain't got past A. And that's why people won't accept the fact he says that this is the battle is not in the flesh. It's in the spirit. So we're out here fighting flesh realms, and everything is right there in the spirit. Okay. So what I'm going to talk about is the steps that he has ordered. Okay. I'm going to bring you to the level of understanding the steps are not natural steps. They are spiritual steps. Okay. And each time you go from ground level to the first step, if you make it to the second one, it's because you have crushed his head and you have moved to the second one. Okay. So our steps that Yah has ordered is our spiritual steps. Okay. But where the heaviness of apologizing is, if people could only understand that the battle are two. Okay. And if we are our own worst enemy, that means our flesh is fighting against what our spirit knows. Okay. So therefore, the apology is that they didn't teach. Many of you all, 99.9, was not taught to learn the spiritual realm versus the fleshly realm. And this is why people don't know that the battle, the war is in the spirit. Okay. It was there. It was always going to be in the spirit. And that's why Yah said, put on the whole armor. It's not something you can put on in your flesh. You can't put your flesh mind in that, in the armor. You can't put your flesh heart in this battle. Okay. That whole armor is not flesh. It is spirit. So that's why I say you got ignorant people that would teach the whole armor. Put on. You got to put on. What are they feeding? Flesh. Until people in full understanding that the whole armor is not flesh, but it is spirit, then they'll step down and bring a conviction to their flesh so they can focus on their spirit. You got to bring that conviction to that flesh. That's what it means, die in that flesh. Judge your flesh daily, that no man will be able to judge you. Why? Because you're judging your flesh at the spiritual level. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to bless someone today, and going back and say it to you again, I apologize for the way that people have taught you all these times, all these thousands of years. Okay. And never taught you the twos that wraps around. One is the spirit and one is the flesh. Okay. What Sister Deborah is going to talk about is the heart. Okay. And this is another thing I like to apologize for, is because many people don't understand, if there are two entities, which is the flesh and the spirit, what do he say? The fight, the war, the it's not flesh and blood. it's principality. He's taking you to a level where the true war is at, and everything is fought. Okay. And the reason why he's taking you out of the flesh to the spirit, because he wants you to understand it's where we should have been searching long time ago. And that is our spirit man. Because what can defeat the ways of our flesh is our own spirit. Because the enemy of the flesh is our own spirit. That's what make it our worst enemy, because it's an enemy to our own spirit, first and foremost. That's why he never said Satan or the devil or evil is our worst enemy. He said you are your own worst enemy, because they never taught you all that you have a flesh and you have a spirit. The spirit is so willing, but the flesh is so weak. It don't want to follow the order of the spirit. So if Yah has ordered your steps in the spirit, your first battle is not going to be Satan, the serpent, at you, but it will be your flesh at you, taking those spiritual steps, your own flesh. But when you come to the knowledge, you can actually get your flesh under the subjection to your spirit. See, these men running around here and they want women being submissive. Submit your tail somewhere and say, people, you got to understand the level of flesh. Flesh is some sort of wickedness. I mean, it is the ugliest thing on earth. And you all still feel that, Yah is not going to put you in a situation where he's calling your spirit to walk this way. And because you got to be submissive to another flesh, another entity, y'all wake up. You've been following the ways of darkness. Understand. If your husband is the way of the light, he is a man out of your own heart to lead his family into more light. And he's like Sarah saw Abraham. You get what I'm saying? These people and these men don't understand what polygamy is. It's a sin of the flesh. And even Yeshua told them of yesterday that Moses told you that only because you were flesh. Your heart was where your flesh was. See, Moses couldn't deal with a lot of the flesh because he was trying to walk in the steps that Yah was ordering him in the spirit. And he just couldn't get this stiff-necked rebellion and disobedient people. So he said, if he can't win them over, might as well join them. So he began to tell Yah about the way he was doing Israel, the house of Israel. He really was. That's why I say a lot of these men talk and they walk under the way of the flesh. They have not the spirit of Yah, that their spirit walks in. Okay. So the topic, I don't know, but I'm going to say, I don't know what I'm going to say, but it's going to be talking about the twos. Now, what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about the heart. Okay. I want to give you this lesson on heart. Heart is the same way. You got a heart that pumps your blood in your flesh. It's for the flesh. It is not the same heart that's in your spirit. Okay? You have a fleshly heart and a spiritual heart. The fleshly heart dies. It is assigned to the ground. It is assigned to death. But a spiritual heart is what Yah measure. Yah know of you. So while you are walking around thinking it's a heart that you have power over, it's a heart that you can control. They connect the mind and the heart of the flesh with the mind and the heart of the spirit, and you cannot do that. And this is what leads a lot of people lost with the cause, because they still serving their flesh and they have not stepped in the realm of the spirit. Okay, so we're going to talk about the heart. And let's first and foremost, where I want to start. Let's start with Ezekiel 36 and verse 26. I want to start there because there you can see Yah coming for us, which is a beautiful thing. And while he's coming for us in Ezekiel 36, it's kind of give you an insight on how Yah is coming for us and what he's going to get rid of that's in us and how he's going to restore us. This is a good example to really minister to people about the difference between the heart and mind of the flesh versus the heart and the mind of the spirit. But I'm going to take you to something that shows you sometimes people are just lost because they need to be lost. I hate to say it like that, because if you say, for instance, if I pass away, the heart stops, the brain stops functioning, and it deteriorates with everything in the flesh. You see? So it lets you know that it is only an organ that's connected to the flesh. Okay? So anything that is of the flesh is not of Yah. It is not of the spirit. If my heart stop pumping and my mind stop functioning, that is my flesh is dead. Okay? My flesh is dead and never, ever, 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 ever will be known again. But I have a spirit, because now the breath of life has been taken out of my spirit, and my spirit is at a place of peace and sleep, awaiting the trumpet for judgment. What is in my spirit? My spirit is asleep, but I still have a heart and a mind that is asleep. It's not dead, y'all. It's just sleep. You see? The breath returned back to whom it belongs to, the Most High Yah. So what I'm trying to say, I ain't trying. What I'm saying is there's two hearts that you have. And there's two minds. This mind in the flesh is for the flesh. But you have a mind of the spirit. And I apologize again, they never taught you that you have a mind of the spirit. That's that mind, he says, let this mind be in you that was in Christ. That's spiritual, you guys. That's not natural. You see? So what people don't understand is because they never were taught that you are built up on twos. Okay? And it's only spirit and flesh. There's no soul, y'all. I think that is one of the biggest deception that even the Hebrew Israelite have not awakened to. It is one of the biggest things the Roman Catholic could have placed, and the Jesuits that was right along the side of them in this instruction book. The biggest thing they placed in here was the word soul. Soul come in so you would never be able to tap in to what Yah is doing. And that Yah is allowing you to see your flesh, and he's allowing you to see your spirit. You see? He didn't at all. Just as many times they took the word out, people just, how can we measure what they added and what they they put in and what they took out. How can we say that they added this or they said this and they took this word out and called it this word? How can we say anything that is wrong if we can't be able to see through the spirit realm what is right and what is wrong? Because the only one to allow us to be able to get into this book and open it up into the spirit realm is the Spirit himself that comes and abide in us. And that is the Ruach HaKodesh, which many people call the Holy Spirit. If he's not able to teach you spirit and truth, because see, you all been taught by the flesh, 99.9, even he will come in them and teach them spirit and truth, and they'll still hold on to the way of the flesh in which they were taught. It just seems like they just can't move over to the teaching of the Ruach because they feel that the book is the word. They feel all the lost books, the found books, and everything man tell them to do is the word. They still haven't bowed down to the spirit of the Most High Yah. They still hold firm to their study guide, which he said, study to show yourself approved. Don't show nobody else. Don't show nobody else. Because this thing has to be rightly righteously divided. Oh no, they don't want that part. They want to study it. They want to make you think that this is the word. They don't want to do what it tells them to do. Because there's a righteously that needs to be divided. And it needs to be divided by the Holy Spirit in you. The true teacher that promised to come to teach you, not some things, but all things. But he can't teach you. If you stuck on stupid in your flesh and in your so-called soul, there's no such thing. It's no such thing. Okay. So here in Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 26, here you're going to hear about, and this is an approach to Ezekiel. He's telling him, and then he's going to bring Jacob out. Okay. And when he brings Jacob out, he's telling you exactly what he's going to do. And let's go to, let's start with 25. Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 25. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean from all of your filthiness and from all your idols. And will I cleanse you? Now, notice it says sprinkle clean water and cleanse you from your filthiness. Now, you got to understand, this is not the move of the flesh. He's not taking water and cleansing you and pouring down. See, you have to be able to know how to pull out of the natural and go into the spirit where he at. Why? Because that's what he's teaching you at. So you have to understand when he's speaking in spirit and in truth. You see? Oh, but 99.9 can't. Because they so stuck in what they were taught in their flesh, they can't even move to the next step because they're stuck in the flesh. They can't move to the next step because the steps are ordered by Yah. It's a spiritual steps. Okay, so here it is. Verse 25, Ezekiel 36 and 25. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols will I cleanse you. Now there it's actually letting you know that he's going to cleanse us before we enter into Mount Zion, to our own land. Notice that Joshua, they wasn't cleansed. He didn't do all that for them. When he brought Israel out of Egypt, they wasn't cleansed. But this is a new thing because he's bringing you to a level of holiness where he's going to abide. He's going to be in the midst of this land. So the land itself he's taking you is going to be holy. So he has to cleanse your spirit. No, not your spirit. He has to cleanse you, your flesh, of filthiness through spiritual cleansing. You see? That's what he's taking you. That's exactly what he's taking. Because if you think for 1 minute he's going to clean, sprinkle water on you, and he's going to give you a bath, and that's not what he's saying, baby. Okay. Now, when you get into verse 26, I want to show you where 99.15 trillion have never thought to really have an eye opener. Verse 26, a new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit. So he's letting you know you're going to have a new heart and a new spirit. That heart is a spirit that's going to be connected to your new spirit. Praise the mighty Yah. See? You all thought that the heart that you have and the mind that you have, he better settle for that because that's just who I am. No, baby, he don't settle for that. Listen to what it says. A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit. I like that because I liked how he bringing you in as flesh. He's cleansing you and your filthiness and your idols with water. You know, and it's not natural water, but I like how he rumbled in the spirit. Did he cleanse you? In the spirit, did he wash the filth away? And he washed the ideal of idols. He cleansed you from your idols. He did it in the spirit. Okay? And what I like about it is he took care of the spiritual side before he go after the flesh. I love that. I love it. Look at it. Look at it. And he said, I give you a new heart. Also will I give you a new spirit. Because you're going to have a spirit. You got a spirit now. And that spirit that he blew in you, that's your own spirit, you guys. That's your own spirit. That's what the breath of life only came to the spirit. You see? And that's how that flesh of Adam got up off that ground. Because he blew in him a spirit. And the spirit carried his breath in to you. Okay, so here in 26, he's taking care of the spiritual side of you because he tells you he's going to give you a new heart and a new spirit. That's connected to the spirit. Okay, then he says, a new spirit will I put within you. You see? See, so within you, letting you know you're going to have the flesh still, but he's putting that which is spiritual new in you. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. See, I didn't know that. But he's telling me, he asked me, did I understand that? And because of what he's saying to me, I did not know. What he's saying to me in my spirit, I did not know that. Let's go back. 26. He want me to share this with you. He said that new heart also will I give you, and that new spirit will I put within you. Putting that new heart and that new spirit is actually taking you from full judgment for everything you have ever done in your flesh. That's beautiful. That means you're not going to be measured by your old spirit and your old heart, spiritual heart. He said he putting a new one is because you're going to be those who are going to be in eternal. When the new Jerusalem come, you will be there. Okay? When it come down, you'll be already ready. Because when you get to Mount Zion, I can't see it either. Nobody's stepping in the prison of holy. And he in the center, in the midst, and y'all in the center, in the midst of that Mount Zion, and you stepping in there in that flesh, But this is why. He's going to give you a new heart and a new spirit. Why? because that's for eternal. Your spirit is for eternal. That which he's given you a new one. Now, the one you have now can be judged and might be judged as you on this earth. But what he's going to put in you when you make it to New Zion, Mount Zion, is a new heart and a new spirit. That requires, he say, eternal life. You gain eternal life in verse 26 with a new heart and a new spirit in that heart. That heart in that spirit. That's eternal life. Okay? And he says, I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh. So that's that heart you got, that flesh heart. It's stony. See, a lot of y'all didn't know that. It's a wicked song. He's saying he's going to take that heart out of your flesh. So he's stepping from the spirit realm. He's finna step into you in the natural. He's going to do surgery. He's going to take that stone heart out of your flesh. Okay? Because see, this is where the problem is at. This is why they won't teach y'all. As you see here, he's telling you the spiritual side that he's going to prepare for him. First and foremost, he went on to tell you how to sprinkle water and how the water is going to cleanse your filthiness, your idols. It's going to cleanse you good, y'all. Okay? Now, what you didn't understand is it's speaking to you in a way that the things he's going to use in the spirit realm to get you right for eternal. Even though you're now in the flesh in Mount Zion. Okay, but what he's going to do to you, you're going to be flesh, but he's finna put everything in you for the eternal kingdom. So he's straightening out you in the spirit while you're going to be in the flesh on Mount Zion 1,000 years. But he's straightening you out right then and there. So I say to you all, be very cautious in what you think, because you're wrong 100%. He's taking you to Mount Zion. We need to stop trying to place him like into a flesh of a nasty man of Judah, because he's not. Understand, the thoughts of the men down here cannot even come 1%. The thoughts nor the ways of our Father who is holy. Okay, so I want you to look at 25 and 26 in the beginning. He's letting you know he's correcting your spirit, the spirit part. Then he turned around and looked at 26. At 26, after he had put a new spirit, will I put within you. He's telling you it's going to be within you. So he's telling you that now something's going to be on the outside. Look at the word. It says, and I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh. We're talking about two hearts, y'all. The spiritual heart and the flesh heart. See, you didn't know there was two. It's just like the mind. There's two. So he's taking that stony heart out of your flesh. And that's that one we pump blood. And I will give you a heart of flesh. He's putting a new, brand new heart in your flesh. So you can't connect the heart that he is putting in your spirit with the heart that he is replacing in your flesh. You can't put them together. And that's what they had not any idea of when they taught you all, how important it was to just stick to the flesh and the spirit. That alone would lead somebody like me to bust this book wide open and call it for what it is. Because that is showing you the twos. in plain view. It's showing you that Yah deals with the flesh and Yah deals with the spirit. And the spirit and the flesh only. You don't hear no soul up in here. You don't hear him saying nothing about a soul to Mount Zion, because you all been bent. You've been bent up and out. And there's no way that Sister Deborah can convince you you've been bent. It is what's rooted in you, and it's going to cause you to die with no understanding. Okay, so just Ezekiel 35 and 26, Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 25 and 26, they really can't teach it to you, because you have to be in the spirit and a servant. The type of servant he says that will give these type of mysteries will only be the prophets. So you can make it who you want to make it and think that these Hebrew Israelites can bust this word wide open. None of them can touch the rim and where Yah has called Sister Deborah. Not one. Not one. Okay? They couldn't touch the rim. That's why it's not a male nor a female. That's why they never did want to accept that Yah is both. Because female and male didn't come just on the earth because a man's sperm tells who. Stop it. You got to go back to the kingdom. Who started this female, feminine, and masculine? He that has an image that he said, I create them in his likeness. In his image created he male and female. So therefore his image has to be both. Sit down, clowns. Okay, now right here, you see, he divided just in verse 27. He just broke it out to you. First, I like to say again, I like how 25 poured up, because he first showed you how the spirit, how the spiritual water is going to cleanse your flesh. Then he told you how the spiritual heart and a new spirit going to be put in you. Then he came and dealt with the flesh. Where is the soul? Where is the soul? It reminds me when I'm trying to get people to see that the difference between Christ and the difference between Yeshua, which is the world called Jesus, and the difference between Christ, which is Hamashiach. What's the difference? It is a difference. But that was what you supposed to have been able to comprehend through the spirit of Yah living in you. He would have taught you the tools. So here he speak, and he's showing you how he separated the flesh and how he's going to take care of the spirit first. Hold up, y'all. Stand down. I'm taking care of the spirit side first. He's standing down because he start the sprinkling of the water and all of that. That's spiritual water. He's preparing you. He's cleansing you with spiritual water and taking the filthiness and the idols. He's cleansing you. But then he turned around and he talks about the two separate hearts. There are two separate hearts. Where I made the mistake is I capitalized the spiritual heart. It's supposed to be lowercase heart. There's supposed to be a lowercase heart. S on spirit, because our spirit has a heart and our flesh has a heart. So he's still going to continue us having a heart for the flesh, but he also gave us a heart for the spirit. And that means we are ready for eternal. What do you mean? For the spiritual eternal Jerusalem. But the only thing about it, when that time come, when the new Jerusalem come and we are ready, he's going to just drop off the flesh and the spirit is already ready. Praise the mighty Yah. Why? Because he prepared it in Mount Zion for the kingdom. He prepared the spirit already for the kingdom. Okay. So if you wanted to, you can go down to 27, and it says, and I would put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my status. You see that? He's going to even put his spirit. It's going to be connected to you. That's why this is heaven, honey. This is the heavens. When you make it to that Mount Zion, You have made it into eternal kingdom. You're there. Okay. So he's saying, and it cause you to walk in my status, and ye shall keep my judgment and do them. Why? Because 27 is explaining to you that you're still in the flesh. You're still in the flesh. But he's going to put his spirit within you. Even though he gave you a new heart and a new spirit for your heart, spiritual heart. He gave you a new spirit. So your spiritual heart can be in your spirit. Even though he gave you a new flesh heart for your flesh. Okay? He's still letting you know, I'm going to step in. I'm going to still be in there. He's going to be in that spirit. Just so you can keep at all time his status. Why? Because you're still flesh. Okay? So this is letting you know it ain't nothing going to go wrong. Not in your new land, your own land, Mount Zion. Okay, so I wanted to say that. I wanted to bring that one forth. And then I wanted to go to Jeremiah chapter 17. We're speaking of the heart. So you all would understand that you're not going nowhere with this nasty heart you have today. We really need to, we really need to work on ourselves. But because, we have to understand that sin has us bound to a wicked heart that's rests within us, okay? To an evil heart. Not so much as evil, but iniquity and sin. So in Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 9, it reads, the heart is deceitful above all things. Do y'all see that? It's speaking of the flesh heart. It's speaking of Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 9 says, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? See, a lot of y'all didn't know that, did you? I try to tell you. That flesh is your enemy. It's your number one enemy. It's not somebody on your left and on your right. It's your own flesh. Just be able to, just imagine capturing that and working with that. But listen to verse 10. Let's go to verse 9. We're going to go straight down to verse 10. And verse 9 said, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? See, you all thinking the wrong way because that's apologizing again. It's the way you were taught and you are stuck right in what you was taught. Okay. The fleshly heart is wicked. You don't know how grateful you need to be that Yah deals and works with your spiritual heart. Because if he had to deal with your natural heart, because it's deceitfully above all things wicked. So you see how you can't serve Yah with this flesh? And your heart is your worstest enemy, is yourself. Your own heart, not my heart, is your worstest enemy. Your own heart. Look how it says, verse 9. The heart is deceitfully above all things. Look at things, got an S. And desperately wicked. Who can know it? 99.9 do not know it. And that's why you your own worst enemy. Because of your own heart. See, people, the only heart that Yah measure is your spiritual heart. The spiritual heart which he knoweth of. That's why David and them can say all their evil and wicked and iniquity is in them. Because that's on the side of the flesh. That flesh heart, that flesh mind. Yah is not measuring them at that. He's measuring them at their spiritual heart. See, y'all missed it. And it ain't measuring them with no soul. They just lied to y'all about the soul. Roman Catholic put that in there. One of the biggest words, along with love, along with many other things they put in there to confuse you so you'll never find your way home. Okay. And then verse 10 says, I, Yah, searches the heart. I try the ruins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruits of his doing. Yah searches the heart because it is the spiritual heart that he searches for. The ways of your spiritual heart, not the ways of your flesh heart. It just told you it is deceitful. But it says in verse 10, I, Yah, searches the heart. I try the ruins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruits of his doings. Because people are doing too much. Too much what? Evil. Too much what? Wicked. Too much everything. And Yah stays searching the spiritual part of you. Because that flesh heart is messed up from the floor. Yah is not going to search your flesh and measure your heart of your flesh when he know it's deceitful, because it is flesh. Sinful flesh. You all don't know how blessed you are that Yah measured the heart of your spirit versus the heart of your flesh. Oh yeah, talk to me. Because when he's going to reverse you in Mount Zion, he's taking everything that he ever knew of you and giving you a newness. First starting with the spirit. And because you're going to be in Mount Zion in the flesh, he's going to take that wicked, stony heart out and give you another heart of flesh. But he ain't going to change your flesh, but he going to cleanse it with spiritual water. That spiritual water, he going to sprinkle and cleanse you. It's going to take away your idols, your filthiness, everything in you that's wicked. It's going to cleanse you. That's that spiritual water. See, that's what I'm saying. Everybody want to walk up and call themselves buckling up on Yah, thinking they know him. You better know him where you know him. And that's only in the spirit. Okay. So there in Jeremiah is telling you that what that natural heart is, deceitful, and how Yah, he searches the heart. We're going to learn more about the way that he searches the heart. Let's go to 1 Peter. A lot of us is a place we should not be. 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 3. Let's start there. 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 3. Who's adoring? Let it not be that outer adoring, or the plaiting of hair, and of wearing of gold, and of putting on pearls. Okay, verse 4. But let it be the hidden man, which is the inner man. Now in verse 3, it's telling you the outer appearance of a person. Okay. And verse 4 is about to tell you the hidden part. That's the spiritual part. It says in verse 4, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, in that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of the meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of Yah, of great price. Right then, it shows you the heart that is in the inner man is not corrupt. Okay. And it is at high price, great price. in the sight of y'all. See, y'all looking at that flesh and you think it's everything I see, I think, and I feel in my flesh. No, baby. There's an inner man that I would like to apologize that they never taught you. That there's only two. There's an inner and the outer. There's no middleman. The Roman Catholic put soul in there just to deceive you. And they did an excellent job. I can really say a perfect job deceiving you all. Okay. So what you got to understand is this is showing you the difference between the outer, because it says here in verse 3, who's adoring, let it not be that outer adoring, of plaiting of the hair and the wearing of gold of putting on pearls. And that's what people do. They measure, oh, you got to wrap your head. You got to, the women be all wrapped up here. And in other foreign countries, had these women all wrapped up. And guess what? Sin is not found in clothing and in hat. Wicked and sin is found in your flesh, not on the outer appearance that you cover your flesh with. You see, this is why they have you to cover up, because they want men to feel good about owning women, and having order, covering yourself up. But then they can walk around just anyway. It doesn't make any sense. It's a trait of putting people under a bondage to where they can be owned. It's like, it's just, look how they do the animals now, the little dogs and cats. They put on coats. They even polish their little nails. They put on jewelry on these animals. They put hats. They put little shoes on these animals. See, this is the sick mind of man. They want to flip what y'all call flesh eating, what do you call it? Flesh eating, blood lickers, flesh eating animals that y'all created, flesh, blood lickers, flesh eating. They want to create them into a human setting. That's how sick the mind is. Anybody out here that's taking care of a dog, that's investing in all these dog things and animals and just really investing in animals, period. You in some trouble thinking you serving a creator. Because somebody out there can be in need, you'll pass them up without a blink of an eye. But you'll sit and try to make an animal human. Really? Y'all call a dog blood lickers, flesh eaters. What are you eating? What are you doing? You see? You all don't understand how you have taken all the order of Yah out of order, and you start to serve the ways of the flesh, the outer man. So here in 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 3, it's letting you know those who, when you are adoring something or when you're involved, never, he's telling you the difference from the outer man, how people would deck up the outer man, but don't have no respect for the hidden man of the heart that is not corruptible. You see, so you searching so much of your flesh and what fits the flesh, what look good on the flesh, what is good for the flesh, what to eat for the flesh, what to everything in that way, but you reject everything in the spirit realm. I need you all to go over 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 4. No, 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 3 and 4. It's separating the flesh from the spirit. The outer man, which is flesh, from the inner man. It's separating. Where is the soul in this? Can somebody tell me? Where is the soul? Y'all. Let me just. I have another one here. Let's go to Psalms 5. Oh, we was in Psalms. That's David. Psalms 51. In Psalms 51, In Psalms 51 and verse 10, listen to this. This is David. Create in me a clean heart. He's telling the Father, create in him a clean heart. Let me see, verse 10. O Yah, and renew a right spirit. And renew a right spirit. See, he's asking him to work in him. He already know that outside is messed up from the floor. But please, Father, don't let my inner man be as worse as my outer man. Can that be? Yes, he can. That's what you call he that's born of the flesh and he that's born of the spirit. Because he that's born of the flesh come down here to let the flesh lead its way and have its way in this world, in its flesh. He that's born of the spirit, guess what it does? It follows the spirit of Yah. Okay? It follows the spirit of Yah. So it deals basically with the one on the inner man. Does it erase those that are born of those that walk in the spirit? Does it erase the sin of their flesh? No. But their spiritual follows Yah, the ways of Yah. Okay? And it's going to return back to Yah. Okay? So, here in Psalms 51 and verse 10, this is what David is saying. Let's go up to verse 9. Let's go up to verse 9. And he doing it again. He's separating the sin of the flesh from who he is of the spirit. Okay? Psalms 51 and verse 9 and 10. Hide thy face from my sins and blot out all my iniquity. He's asking him to hide his face from all that he keeps sinning and his sins and hide his iniquity. He's talking about the outer man, the things he keep doing in the outer man. And guess what he say when he get to verse 10? Create in me a clean heart, O Yah, in me, and renew a right spirit. Why is David saying that? Because there's so much iniquity on the outside and sin that we actually have, that it makes one wonder. I want my spirit and my heart right in my spirit because of what we are sinning and what we're doing with the outer man. Even David had the sense enough to ask him to make sure I'm right from the spirit realm, Father. And I say that unto you. You've been taught it all wrong. You have not learned the twos. Go back into Sister Deborah's videos where you can learn about the twos. And they might be on my other page. That's probably where they are. But David even knew the difference between. David did not say nothing about his soul. Oh, Deborah, I'm going to tell y'all. And it's because y'all been taught the soul plays a part. No, the Roman Catholic and the Jesuit put soul there so you'll never know what me and David is talking about. And you never knew it. See how you lost what David is talking, what Paul is saying, even what I'm saying, because you never knew that in the eyes of Yah, it's only spirit and flesh. Okay? So here we see, let's go to Matthew's chapter 6. Matthew's chapter 6 and verse 21. In Matthew's chapter 6 and verse 21, it says, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. This is what you know that people really don't really get it. And you can't keep apologizing for people simply not getting it. People don't understand. Yah is measuring that heart, because that's where your real identity is at. That's where you rest your treasures, is in your heart. And what heart is he speaking of here? If this here heart, it says, where your treasure is, will be where will your heart be also. This is the spiritual heart. A lot of people think that they can say, well, I can be one way in my natural heart, but I don't mean I'm going to be that way in my spiritual. No, that's where y'all measuring you at. Because the heart speaketh. Your spiritual heart speaks for your natural heart. Why? Because it's no way you're going to have a spiritual heart and you rest all your treasures in your spiritual heart. Your treasures he's speaking of is what you have in your natural heart, your fleshly heart. For where your treasure is, that's where it's at. There will your heart also be. So people thinking, well, my heart can be falling yard and my treasures can be in my flesh. No, it can't. It leads you to where your heart truly is. A lot of people don't know. They can judge themselves right here on the earth to determine who they are in Yah. And I've tried to teach and preach it. You can't get to people. It's not meant to get to the flesh. It's only meant to get to the spirit. Why? Because those are the ones Yah has already marked. It's his. That's another thing people don't know. They sitting around here running around carrying the word soul, and not even to understand that it shouldn't even be in your vocabulary. Okay? So here it talks about, listen to verse 20. Matthew chapter 6 and verse 20, it says, but lay up yourself treasures in the heavens, where neither moth nor rust do corrupt, and where thieves do not break through and steal. So the treasure is heaven. That's spiritual. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. See, that's showing you the works. It's not in people, because they're not laying anything in the kingdom, because they're too busy being greedy and making everything about them. But he says, where your treasure is, there is really where your heart is. Okay. Verse 22, the light of the body is the eye. For if therefore thy eye is single, thy whole body shall be full of light. You see, you have to be able to understand it in the spirit, you guys. The heart of the spirit. Understanding. You got a heart of the flesh and you got a heart of the spirit. Most people have the heart of the flesh. That's why the broad gate is so broadened. Okay? It's because they have the heart of the flesh. It's not about what you think, what you feel, your emotions, how you want to say, I know I ain't. See, it ain't about that. Your actions speak louder than your words. How about that? How about that? Okay. So let's go. The last verse is Romans chapter 8. Romans chapter 8 and verse 25. In Romans chapter 8 and verse 25 and 26, it reads, but if we hope for that which we see not, then do we have patience waiting for it. Verse 26, likewise the Spirit also help our infirmities, for we know not what we should pray for as we ought, but the Spirit itself maketh intercession for us with groaning which cannot be uttered. Now, this is when the Ruach make intercessions for you and knows what you ought to pray for, is when he's in you. He ain't making intercession for you and he on the outside of you, letting your flesh rule, and then he telling you what to say. from the outside. It's what he is on the inside. Go verse 26. Likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our infirmities, for we know not what we should pray for as we ought, but the Spirit itself maketh intercession for us with groaning and which cannot be uttered. That means you can't even comprehend what the Spirit is making intercession for you, but the Spirit has to live in you. The Spirit is only wanting to abide in you to do those things. Okay, so it connects to also how people will run around here and pray and make them think that they are praying to a unseen Yah, and they don't understand. You just praying to yourself. Your prayers is bouncing off the wall. If he ain't greater in you than you yourself, which is your flesh, then he ain't making intercession for you. You see, people, I say unto you, we deal with two hearts. This here should be lowercase. This S should be lowercase. We deal with the flesh heart and we deal with the spirit heart. Understanding the two is such a great thing because it allows you to know that Yah has dealt from the kingdom. Before heaven and earth was created, he always dealt with twos. He created the earth and split it in half in twos. Okay? Whether you know it or not, that's on you. Everything that he has done, he done it in twos. Now, you know how everybody would grip 666. They would grip the letter, the number 7. They would grip a meaning to the number 8, the numbers 11. They got all these grip to different numbers, but they never knew the mystery of the twos. So Sister Deborah, I hope you got something out of it, and know that the heart that is of your flesh is not the heart that is of your spirit. Okay? And that's what Yah goes after. Only what he knows that's in that spirit. The heart of the spirit tells who you are in the flesh and who you are in the spirit. The heart of the spirit alone tells which direction you were sent down here, to walk in the spirit or to walk in the flesh. So Sister Deborah is coming this evening. I think I'm going to cover what took place before the foundation of the world. Okay, we're going to talk about what took place before the foundation of the world, so that those who are the coming onto Sister Deborah page can have some type of insight of something that they had within them, but they didn't know if they were wrong about what they always believed. What Sister Deborah I use that word all the time. Sister Deborah is going to teach this evening on what took place before the foundation of the world. All right. Shalom and shalom.